Queen Beatrix quits, the Rockefellers flee, the Bushes are rats in a trap, Queen Elizabeth, the Pope and the Rothschilds are still standing. By Benjamin Fulford, February 5, 2013. The announcement last week that Queen Bilderberg Beatrix of the Netherlands was abdicating the throne is but a visible sign of some fundamental changes in the secret power structure of the West. In a yet-to-be publicly confirmed move, David and J. Rockefeller have fled to an island near Fiji, according to a CIA source. The Bush family, for its part, tried to flee via an airport in Arkansas but were prevented from doing so by the FBI, the same source says. This source, who correctly predicted the resignation of Queen Beatrix, is also saying that Queen Elizabeth will resign in favor of her grandson in the near future. These moves are all connected to the ongoing counterattack against the genocidal Western elitists affiliated with the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations and other related organizations. As will be described below, there is a lot more to come. Also, at the time of this writing, Lord James Sassoon has not responded to a handwritten letter delivered to him last week at the House of Lords in England asking for comment on the allegations that he bribed 82 politicians, actually paid actors, affiliated with Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party. There are also plenty of indications of escalating infighting within the financial elite. The SWIFT international banking transfer system, for example, is becoming dysfunctional because large money transfers are being intercepted and diverted to unknown destinations before the intended recipients get their money, according to both MI5 and CIA sources. The SWIFT system has several operational and procedural features that allow anyone with big computing power, i.e. cabal-controlled bank servers, to spot and arrest large transactions, especially over $50 million, the MI5 source says. SWIFT has in the past been temporarily disabled to allow Bush 41 to steal large transactions, he adds. The lack of trust between different cabal factions has meant that opposing factions have been regularly hijacking each other's bank transfers, the CIA source corroborates. The recent shouting match between Christine Lagarde, the head of the IMF, and Deutsche Bank CEO Jürgen Fitchen, reported by Tom Heneghan, was almost certainly related to one such major hijacking of funds. Also, more and more gold-plated tungsten bars are being found in bank storage vaults worldwide. So far it can be confirmed that the IMF, the Bank of China, the Bundesbank and the Bank of England have all had some or all of their gold replaced with tungsten. This is leading to a frantic search for the missing gold by various governments. Perhaps they should follow Richard Armitage, who is now taking global collateral accounts gold from Indonesia and gold from royal vaults in Thailand, refining it in Hong Kong and taking it to parts unknown, Paraguay, the Antarctic. According to a CIA source. Two separate U.S. sources, one FBI and one CIA, have both contacted this writer and said that a lady by the name of Madame Wong has been installed as Empress in China and placed in charge of the 85% of the world's gold whose last legitimate owner was the Qing dynasty. This is strange to hear because my Chinese sources tell me the current heir to the Qing dynasty is a man by the name of Dr. Yi. Perhaps this is an attempt by certain parties to claim rights to the world's treasure by using a proxy. In any case, you cannot eat gold, and technically owning 85% of the world's gold does not automatically give a person the right to decide the future of humanity. That right belongs to the people of the world. On that front, there seems to be a major power struggle coming to a head in the U.S. As mentioned above, the founding families of the Federal Reserve Board in the U.S. have either fled or are trying to flee in order to avoid imminent arrest, according to the CIA. There is also apparently some complicated plot brewing in which the Congress and the Senate will trigger their own demise by impeaching Obama, at least so the CIA is saying. After Obama is impeached, he will announce that he is just a spokesperson and the Vice President Biden was actually sworn in as is actually president. Following that, the members of the Congress and Senate will be arrested and Obama will be formally reinstated as president, the CIA says. At this point, a systematic purge of traitors will begin and no more dual Israeli/US citizens will be allowed in government. Once that is done, the newly restored U.S. Republic will legally and rightfully renounce debt owed by the private Federal Reserve Board consortium to the rest of the world, or so the story goes. Believe it when you see it. What is real though is that top Bilderberger Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands has resigned. The CIA source in Europe who correctly predicted this says Queen Elizabeth will also resign soon in favor of her grandson William. MI5 could not confirm this. A Dutch intelligence source says Beatrix's resignation was planned long in advance and was connected to the fact that she turned 75. Here is what an Italian royal family member had to say about Queen Beatrix. I know she has been part of a consortium with the Pope, Queen Elizabeth, the Yamato dynasty and Adam Habsburg that has been and is still fighting the evil so-called Illuminati. A Gnostic Illuminati source responds by saying they are not evil, just opposed to dynastic rule by satanic bloodlines. Speaking about Satan, there has been new intrigue in the Vatican. A certain Monsignor Egidio Vognosi died suddenly near the Vatican recently and was buried without an autopsy, according to an Italian aristocrat. Vognosi was pressing for a full investigation of the Instituto di Opere Religiose Institute for Religious Works, i.e. the Vatican Bank. The dark soul behind the Vatican Bank is a Monsignor Donato Di Bonis, the Italian aristocrat says. The Vatican Bank has been without a president for the past 8 months after a reformist president Ettore Gotti was controversially dismissed. Recently, credit card payments and ATMs in the Vatican have stopped because the Vatican Bank is not complying with international money laundering regulations. The Vatican Bank is reluctant to open its books to international scrutiny because massive bribes paid to senior politicians around the world would be exposed, according to several sources. The terms of the members of the Oversight Committee for the bank will expire on February 23. Let us see if the Vatican finally comes clean after that date. One final note, a White Dragon Society member in Europe was attacked by 2 men with knives last week. The 2 men were beaten up and then arrested. They claimed they were paid $15,000 each by Bilderbergers from Holland to kill that WDS member. They were amateurs, indicating the Bilderbergers are running out of professional talent.